KUNC and the NPR network. This is In The NoCo. I'm Brad Turner, in today for Erin O'Toole. An innovative new prosthetic foot, dreamed up by students at Colorado State University, could offer new options to amputees and other people with limb differences. The team behind it calls it the Goldilocks foot. It's sort of a middle option. It's more comfortable than cheaper prosthetics, but costs less than prosthetics built for running and other competitive sports. The design team says the Goldilocks foot is especially useful for walks, light exercise, and general wear. CSU senior Garrison Hays worked with a team of engineering undergrads to create the design, and he drew on his personal experience. His leg was partially amputated to remove cancer when he was a kid, and over the years, he saw an opportunity to make a prosthetic that was affordable, but also durable and comfortable.
I was diagnosed with cancer when I was 5. I was about to turn 6, and I was diagnosed with a childhood cancer called osteosarcoma. I'm actually coming up on my 20th anniversary of being amputated. Gosh, it feels weird to say that, because it's been such a big part of my life for so long now. But one of the big things that I noticed is a lot of companies were kind of focused on high performance, or they were focused on comfort, or they were focused on being as inexpensive as possible. And no one was kind of hitting all 3 points. The second thing I noticed is, wow, my parents pay a lot of money for me to have really good prosthetics, and because I keep breaking them. I was kind of rough on them as a kid, and so I noticed pretty quickly how much they were spending each year on my prosthesis.
So the cheaper ones, they tend to break. Let's talk about the design of the Goldilocks foot. You designed it to feel spongy yet springy, and the sort of secret ingredient in the design are these polymer cubes that work together to create this spongy feel. Tell me about how those work and why they help make a better prosthetic foot.
Our team ended up coming up with this special lattice type structure that you were talking about in order to absorb energy and to return energy back into the ground when you're walking or when you're running. So it's spongy when you have high impact that needs to be absorbed, and it's springy when you have just the right amount of impact that you need to return back into the ground for normal walking. And so, yeah, our team came up with it, and we patented it because we believe it's such a revolutionary technology for the prosthetics world.
You worked on this with a team of other students as part of an engineering design class. What was the hardest part of getting the design right, of nailing the design?
The hardest part was probably the trial and then the refinement. There were some times that I would try it on and I'd go, hey guys, I'm sorry, but I think like the heel is a little blocky. It feels like I'm stepping in kind of like a wedge. And I think that was probably one of the hardest things, because it was really easy for me to just wear it and say, hey, this doesn't feel good. But it was difficult as a team to try and come up with a good engineering practice to try and address those problems.
But you were the secret weapon because you could test it out and give instant feedback.
Yeah, true. It made it really nice to have someone who could try it immediately after it was done printing. But for the most part, I'm really lucky that my team was really open and receptive to not just me having a prosthesis, but for making it the entire design project too.
Wow. Sounds like you had a great team behind you on this.
Absolutely.
What was it like to put it on as you got to the final version of the design and you got it right? What was it like to slip the correct version on for the first time?
It was really nice to have that last version of it, because we had done very, very minuscule changes before that. Because they were so small, we were like, man, is this actually going to affect anything? And when I came back and gave a big thumbs up, they went, oh, wow, the thing that we had come up with to fix the problem actually worked.
Great.
And so the final iteration was just kind of a culmination of an entire year's worth of effort and hard work from an entire team.
What is it that keeps the production costs down on your design?
So our design right now is made entirely custom to the person for a very low cost comparative to a mass manufacturing cost. I mean, obviously everyone has a bit of a different body type. They have different weights, they have different heights, they have different even foot sizes. And so trying to get one for each individual person in the world would be really, really difficult with current manufacturing methods. But with 3D printing, we're able to create something that is extremely personal, that is for around the same cost, if not less than what these mass manufacturing companies are creating and producing.
That's pretty cool. What does a Goldilocks foot cost?
Well, as of right now, we're shooting for an MSRP of about $2,000. Our cost, it has a range. Right now, we're sitting at about $500 to $600. We're partnered with a company here in Windsor who helps us with the printing aspect of things. But if we were to get our own printer, it would also drive down cost for sure.
Interesting. Garrison, it strikes me that you were able to design an innovative prosthetic foot because of your experience wearing a prosthetic. Do you think the prosthetic design industry listens to its users as much as it should?
It's a little hard to answer. I think there's yes and there's no to that. I think there are certain things they see it and they say, ooh, that'd be really easy for us to do, and then they do it. And so they really look for the things that can make them the most money, which makes sense. I mean, if you're a business, you're looking for what can make you money. But with our approach to it, we definitely went toward a customer-first design and manufacturing process. We really want to hear exactly what the person wants to use it for so that we can design it specifically with that end use in mind. Say if someone wants to be a ballerina, then we're able to design a foot that is made into that, tiptoe shape specifically for that. Whereas these other prosthetic companies, I'm not so sure that they are always listening to those specific end needs.
Yeah.
Instead of just making something that is like shoes. Kind of feels like they're making shoes sometimes. And some people, they need orthotics and not just running shoes.
Garrison Hays is a biomechanical engineering student at CSU. He and his team designed a prosthetic they call the Goldilocks foot, which won several design competitions. Garrison and the team are exploring how they might bring the Goldilocks foot to market. By the way, I just want to take a minute and say on behalf of the In The NoCo team, your support means the world to us right now. You've probably heard by now that some leaders in Washington are working to end funding for public media, and that would hurt local news stations like KUNC and podcasts like In The NoCo. That means your support matters more than ever in helping to keep KUNC news going. If you want to make a gift, head to kunc.org and hit the donate button. If you've already donated a little and want to give monthly, your sustaining gift helps us deliver news about Colorado for Coloradans like you. Thank you for listening and for supporting. That's it today for In The NoCo. I'm Brad Turner. Thanks again for listening.